Hey, what's up guys? I am photographer Rav Holly. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. And this is Giant Rock. All right, we're in the shade, but it's pretty bright out here. I got out here early this morning, drove in from Arizona. I was in the Arizona desert yesterday, California desert today. I meant to get out here early in the morning because I shot this photo out here about 10 years ago when I had my Land Rover Discovery, and I sold a lot of prints of that photo and I wanted to recreate it with this Xterra. But I shot that photo, I came out here about 5 in the morning on that photo 10 years ago, and I climbed up this big rock pile to the top and I waited for the sun to come up. Unfortunately, because I was driving all night last night and been out in the desert yesterday and exerted myself, I went to take like a little power nap. I fell asleep. Long story short, I fell asleep and woke up like at 10 o'clock this morning. So needless to say, I missed my opportunity to recreate that photo, unless maybe I stay another night or try to do it at golden hour this evening. So we're looking for the ND filters for this camera and the drone. Since it is bright daylight out here now, I think I might have stashed them over here. Let's see, I think they're here. Yes. Okay. It's the ND filters for the Osmo. I have ND filters for the drone, but I don't know where they're at. Let's see. And it has literally been just a steady stream of people out here. I've been out here to Giant Rock a whole lot of times. We do a really good YouTube video on the history and the significance of Giant Rock. It's actually a really cool place, even though it's just a great big boulder that's behind me. It played significant role for the Native American culture, people that were out here. It's said that like only the elders were able to approach the boulder and touch it. You had to be like a shaman, a medicine man, or a leader of the tribe to be able to access and touch Giant Rock. It's got a crazy history with the UFO community and the gentleman who used to live under Giant Rock, like back in the 40s, I believe. It's so beautiful out here. When the wind stops blowing, man, it's just so beautiful out here. So I've done some other videos out here, so I'll link those in the description, but they really weren't good vlog videos. So I really wanted to come out here and actually really do a real video, you know what I mean, that I felt proud of. So that's kind of what this video is, more like my Throne of Pinnacles video. If you haven't seen that one, I'll link it, or maybe I'll put the slider thing up at the top or whatever, but I'll try to link it in the description too, or put it at the end credits, because that's really what I wanted to do with my American Nomad series, was like go out to these places like Giant Rock and like really record some cool videos about exploring the desert, which is something that I love to do. I did that first Throne of Pinnacles video, and I really liked the way that video came out, but it was the first one I did, so I was like, oh, I'll get better at this. And I never did any more. And this is crazy. I want you guys to see this. Somebody has built toilets out here, which is pretty cool. So there's some toilets out here you can use. Don't know who did that, but whoever did it, great idea. Because a lot of people are coming out here now. When I first moved to Joshua Tree, I was out here one time, and like I said, I came out here I was coming out here on a daily basis, and I was just out here by myself. There was nobody out here. And one of the rock climbers, this became like a big rock climbing destination. So one of the rock climbers climbed up there and attached a swing. And I've been sitting on it. It's actually pretty freaking cool. I like it. If you don't know Giant Rock, there used to be a gentleman that lived under this rock. He was either Russian or German. I feel like he was Russian. I think he was Russian. One of the girls here earlier thought he was German, but I'm pretty sure he was a Russian guy. And he actually dug a hole out from under Giant Rock and was living under Giant Rock. And if you look, let me show you, where my truck is parked here, there's concrete. So you can see all the concrete. So there's a whole story behind this gentleman that lived under Giant Rock. And I'll try to link some of the historic literature in the description. But anyway, this gentleman, I'm pretty sure he was Russian. And when the I think it was the Second World War broke out, because he was Russian, he had crawled up on top of Giant Rock, and he had fixed an antenna, like a radio ham antenna or something. So the government got paranoid that he was a Russian spy, or that he was a spy. So the government came out here, the FBI, I believe it was the FBI, came out here to raid the place. He got wind of it and blew himself up with dynamite and killed himself. And so they dug it out and then filled it all in with cement. But he had like a whole living quarters. He had like a whole house underneath this rock. And he had met a gentleman, and somehow he had come in contact with a gentleman in Santa Monica. I believe the guy's name is Van Buren. I'm gonna have to do a refresher probably and finish this video, because I haven't read those historic facts in like 10 years. I got so like entrenched or entranced with this story when I moved out here, but in Joshua Tree, but that was like back in 2016. So I need a refresher in the course. But long story short, the gentleman from Santa Monica befriended the Russian guy. They got to be friends. The guy from Santa Monica would come out here, visit the old Russian. And the old Russian said that this place was spiritual and it was a place for alien contact. So he used to have like these huge UFO it was like a UFO convention kind of out here. And so people would come from like all over the world. So people would come from, I guess, all over the world, but I know from all over the United States. And there's photos on the internet that you can Google that shows like all these old cars. And I believe I read numbers of like, there would like be like 5,000 people out here for his UFO conventions, because he said that this was like the place for like UFOs. And I was telling a couple here earlier, I've been out here all kinds of nights, all times of night. I've never seen anything out here. I've never seen a UFO of any type. I've never really seen anything out here. I always look, I mean, I've set up on the top of this rock pile way up at the top and just looked at the sky looking, hoping I would see something, but I've never seen anything out here. And like I said, I've spent lots of time out here. But that old man thought this place was a UFO hotbed. And I've heard rumors that, I don't know if it's rumors or I don't know if this is historical fact. And now with AI, we could ask probably ChatGPT or Grok to fact check this. I had heard at one time that giant rock, like the ancient Egyptian pyramids and the Bermuda Triangle, the giant rock actually sits on the 33rd parallel. So I don't know if that's true, but I am going to probably, before I put this video out, I'm going to fact check that with Grok or ChatGPT and see if that's actually a fact. But giant rock is supposedly the largest freestanding boulder in the world. And it is a big boulder. They say it's 7 stories tall. I wish when I was flying my drone earlier, I would have taken off and flown up and got the exact height of giant rock through my drone, but it was so windy that I did not do that. I may actually fly my drone again because the wind has died down to like nothing now. But like, that's kind of how my YouTube life goes. I want to fly the drone earlier, the wind's blowing 60 miles an hour. Now I'm just recording here and the wind's not blowing at all. So that's kind of the way my YouTube life goes. But anyway, there's a huge history. So you guys that are like history buffs and stuff, there's a lot of history into giant rock out in Landers, California. So it's not in Landers, it's outside. We're about 23 miles, I believe, from Joshua Tree or from Yucca Valley, some about the same distance, maybe 26 miles from Joshua Tree. But it's just like out in the middle of the desert. And when I first moved out here to California, or to Joshua Tree in 2016, people really didn't know about this place that much. It wasn't like the lure it is now. So you could literally come out here and just like chill by yourself. Now it's kind of, the secret's out. It's not a secret anymore. So let me kind of show you my rig. It's kind of I've literally parked like right under giant rock. I don't know, hopefully you guys can see, it's really bright out here. I got an ND filter on the Osmo, hopefully, and I've got face tracking on, but you can see my truck there and it's literally just parked right underneath giant rock, right in the shade. And right where my truck is parked is where they filled in the cement. So there's like a slab that I literally park on to kind of hide my truck and keep it out of the sun, to keep it nice and cool. I've gotten a lot of questions about my truck. A lot of people know that I'm like in a bunch of Xterra groups and stuff like that. I think I mentioned this in my vlog yesterday in Arizona. I once went out to the Cleveland National Forest and did a whole like thing about my truck because I was excited. I just got the lift on it and I was really excited about the truck and it looked amazing. Looked brand new at the time. So I went out to the Cleveland National Forest and recorded this extravagant vlog or tour about my truck, the lift I put on it, all the things I did to it. And then I left the Cleveland National Forest and I'd had my camera set up on a tripod and I literally ran off and left my tripod standing in the Cleveland National Forest. I pulled my camera off of it, packed my camera up, put the camera bag, and it was getting dark. So I was trying to get out of there. I wanted to get back on the road because the road was a little sus because it was up on a cliff. And I didn't want to be maneuvering it in the pitch black. So I threw my gear, my camera in the camera bag, dumped it in the truck and took off and left my tripod, my Manfrotto tripod, standing there in the middle of the Cleveland forest. And I almost went back the next day and got it, but or not the next day, it was like maybe 2 or 3 days later that I even realized what I'd done. I still can't believe I did that. The funny thing about it was the bottom, the shoe that goes to the, okay, it's windy on this side. Let's go back to the other side. The mount shoe for the tripod that goes on the bottom of your camera was still on my camera. Somebody got a free Manfrotto tripod when they saw it, but they had to order a shoe for it, which I think is like $20 or $30. But it was a really nice tripod. It's my travel tripod. But I have a nicer one now that I actually like more. I actually have that one had the little gun grip on it though, but I actually now have a SIRUI, but this one is carbon fiber. Yeah, this is my travel tripod now, the one that I use, and it is a SIRUI, I think it's SIRUI, SIRUI. I remember this tripod back in the day when I was buying mostly all my tripods are Manfrotto. SIRUI. And SIRUI or SIRUI or whatever this is called was like, it was like cheap Chinese trash or whatever. You just didn't buy these because it's just, I don't know if this one is made in China. I don't know where it's made. Let's see. It's a SIRUI Traveler S7C. But I absolutely love this tripod. It is absolutely amazing. It's got your little grips, and it's really light, being carbon fiber, and it's better than the Manfrotto I had. The Manfrotto was aluminum, but once you scoped it all the way out, it was not very stable. This one's rock solid. And I didn't mean for this video to turn into an equipment review all of a sudden, but I get a lot of questions about equipment that I have, and you know, there's a lot of better YouTubers out there when it comes to talking about equipment. Like Cam Mackey, if you guys don't follow Cam Mackey, you should definitely check out his channel. I follow his channel, and if I was really a good equipment reviewer, like he's like who I wanted to be. At one time I tried to do equipment reviews when I was living in Joshua Tree, and I would go back and look at the videos and I just wasn't very good at it. So I just I do open boxing and stuff like that. But when it comes like to the way equipment works and the directions and explaining to you guys like how you use it like that, I just don't have a lot of interest in that. And there's guys out there like Cam Mackey, who's into anamorphic lenses and being able to shoot prosumer stuff and make it look theatrical like we used in the movie industry. So I can't compete with that, so I don't try. The funny thing is though, is that is a huge niche on YouTube, and there's a lot of guys that have made a really great living for themselves and a great YouTube channel doing that. I wish I was better at it. Being a commercial photographer and being a photographer for 30 years, and then working in the entertainment industry as assistant director, second unit director, production assistant, a set PA, BG PA, walkie PA, first team PA. All of you guys that are in the production, you guys know what I was just talking about. The rest of you probably have no idea. But I worked in the film industry for a long time. So with my background, you think I would be better at what I do, at this part of what I do. But I'm good at taking photos, and I'm kind of okay doing video. It's actually kind of funny because when I'm in the shade under giant rock, I don't really need a ND filter on this camera. But as soon as I step out into the sun, it is really bright out here, and I definitely need an ND filter on the lens. So I'm like going back and forth, and I'm putting the ND filter on, taking the ND filter off. Good times. And the sun's moving on me. If you look right here, I want you to kind of see like what we got here. So you can see like giant rock right here. You can get a good look at like what we're looking at. You'll see my truck right here underneath giant rock. Bam. So that's kind of my setup right now. It's actually pretty good because I'm still in the shade. But the shade's about gone on this side. I'm gonna have to pull around to this side of the rock if I'm gonna stay in the shade. But it's so funny that it's just like beautiful out here now. The wind's calmed down. And I guess I could probably get the drone back out now and fly again. So I'm literally just walking around out here now. I'm pretty much finished up. It's really nice and still out here, so I may launch the drone one more time and try to get some more drone footage, but I'm just kind of walking around. There's a bunch of graffiti and the kids, you can see where the kids come out here and camp, and a bunch of graffiti and stuff out on this side of Giant Rock. But the main Giant Rock over there is pretty nice. There was just a cleanup effort, I guess. It was just a cleanup effort to get it all cleaned up. You can see like this is just like so bad. Somebody dumped their whole trash out here. And there's some kind of little varmint over there. When I started this YouTube channel, my whole goal was just to be able to be like a digital nomad. I'd seen a couple of guys that were doing it internationally and just traveling all over the world, just making YouTube videos. And I was like, man, if I could just do this. Oh, what is it? Oh, it's a squirrel. A little ground squirrel. I was like, if I could just do this in the States, I'd be stoked. So I bought an old RV, and it was really nice, custom RV, but it was pretty old. It was an 80 model, but traveled around making YouTube videos in that. But man, I've got to get back to LA now and start making some money. But I'm just so like at peace out here. It's just like I don't want to leave because I don't know when I'll be back. I always know, like when I'm in LA, I'm like, I should go out, drive out to Giant Rock, and it goes years in between me doing it, me saying it to myself and then actually doing it. So I just like to come out here, and then when I'm out here, I need to get back to LA and get some money, make some money, and I don't want to leave because I love it out here. I should also mention, for anyone who's never been out here to Giant Rock or to Joshua Tree or to the Joshua Tree National Park, the park's not quite so bad, especially in times where there's a lot of tourists out there. But if you're going to venture out to like Giant Rock and these different places in the desert, you really do need to be careful doing it because it's April 23rd right now. The temperature is probably about 85, maybe 86 degrees. It's pretty nice. It's not really hot. And if you do get too hot, you can just kind of get under the shade. There's a little bit of a breeze and you can cool off. But if you come out here in another month, in the middle of May, you really need to bring plenty of water, SOS emergency beacon, all of these things. Because if you get out off the beaten path like I am right now, and you have a flat or something, and you don't have enough water, and you don't know how to get back to the road, it can very quickly turn into a life and death situation. Just like with Death Valley, the Mojave is the same way. So a lot of tourists and a lot of LA day trippers have come out to this area and perished. So I don't come out here in the middle of the summertime. Like, I like to do photo shoots in Joshua Tree and stuff, and it's literally the end of the year for me to come out here. I come out in the wintertime and to late spring, but once the hot summer hits, I don't come out here when it's triple digits. I don't know if you guys can see, but there's like some houses and stuff now. It's right down there. And I didn't even know that there was anything over there. Evidently, I just found out you can basically just take the road right out of here. I always come in by the Tegratron. We climbed up to the top of this hill, if you're wondering why I'm out of breath. But we climbed up the top of this hill, but I always come in at the Integratron, coming from Yucca Valley, which is about 3.5, 4 miles going through the desert. But evidently there's a road that just leads you right out. So it's really easy to get in and out that I didn't even know existed. This massive boulder wall, it's not really a mountain, but it's a couple hundred feet tall. 200, no, it's taller than that because my drone was almost at max, which is 400 feet. So I've got it set for in the city. And it was pretty much at the top, and it still wasn't at the top. So it's probably over 400 feet. Now I've climbed this thing and taken a picture of my old Land Rover sitting down by Giant Rock. I'll see if I can find that picture and put it up now. If not, it's on my website at ravholly.com, but I'll try to put it up for you guys so you can see it. I really want to try to recreate that photo with my Xterra, but that boulder wall looks a lot more intimidating to me than it did 10 years ago when I climbed it the first time. Because I was living in Joshua Tree and I was climbing all the time. But I look at it now and I'm like, how did I even get up there? Or how did I even get up there? Because it looks kind of sketch. But I think we're gonna try it unless the wind picks up. I'm gonna try to take a still camera up there and see if we can kind of recreate that old photo. Check out this descent here. I'm hoping I don't slip and fall. So I'll give you guys, I think most of it, I think it comes pretty naturally, but my feet are like slipping a lot. Like it feels like I'm gonna slip out from underneath me. So a lot of times it's easier just to try to go down sideways. Get a little bit more traction. You're just trying to keep your feet straight. And then if you do fall, you usually fall to your knees and you don't fall straight back and hit your head. So the fall is not as precarious and as painful. But these loose rocks like this, they are notorious for just slipping right out from underneath you. And that was why I'd never really climbed up this thing. It's always here every time I've been here, but I never went up just because I knew going up would be no problem. It'd be going down, it'd be kind of iffy. There, I think you can see my truck right through there. We're almost back to Giant Rock. And funny thing actually at this point is I've been shooting, and my whole thing this morning, first thing this morning when all those people were showing up, is like I didn't really have enough stuff shot, and now I've way overshot. So these are the vlogs a lot of times that get like thrown into the vlog memory hole because I've shot so much stuff that I don't want to go through it all. I'm too lazy to go through it all and pick out and use what is really good because I've overshot. Every time I say something that the wind's not blowing anymore, the wind starts blowing. All right, so what I've decided to do is I have my Highland Tactical backpack here that I always keep in my truck, and it's just got some miscellaneous stuff in there, but mostly what I keep in here is my charger for my one wheel, which is heavy as hell. So it stays in this backpack pretty much in the truck. But we're gonna unload this backpack and we're gonna use it for basically carrying stuff. Oh my gosh, look at all my cords I forgot I had in here. I've been buying new cords and I have a ton in here. So my Highland Tactical, I absolutely love. Check this out. You can follow me. These guys should sponsor me, really. I should do some videos on my Highland Tactical, because that backpack's Highland Tactical, and this little shoulder bag is Highland Tactical. And I love this shoulder bag. It pretty much goes with me everywhere. This DJI Osmo sits in the front of this bag. I have two of the microphones that go in there. I have a tactical flashlight. I have a few other things in here. So yeah, I love this backpack. My razor, which I don't like being in here. electric shaving razor, but kind of on vacation, so it kind of had to be in here. If that makes sense. But what I'm going to do is load up my Highland tactical backpack with some camera gear, including this camera, and we're going to see if we can climb up to the top of the mountain up there and get some good pictures. The very last time that I climbed up here, it was super early in the morning. It was still dark. I had a headlamp on, but somewhere up there where those eyes are painted, up in that area, I stumbled onto a rattlesnake. Now, I stumbled onto the rattlesnake, but I never saw the rattlesnake. I heard him, he rattled at me, and he was very close. He was right to the right of me, and I jerked backwards and fell. I think I fell probably about 6 foot maybe, not far. Didn't really hurt myself, but it freaked me the hell out. So then I had to, I went around, took a different route, but yeah, so that's kind of my only concern this time as well, is I would not want to stumble into another rattlesnake. If you look straight across over there, you can see the Xterra on the top of the hill over there. Let's see if I can zoom in. Yeah, there it is. Cool. If anybody tells you that Xterras don't climb, they don't know what they're talking about, because it's way up on the top of that hill over there. And we are gonna try to make it on up top of this. Yeah, so we're pretty much way up here, but we're gonna try to make it on further up. Let's see. I brought the drone with me. I don't think there's gonna be a very good place to launch it, so it's just dead weight. I'm too far up here to go back now. I remember the last time I climbed up here, there's a certain spot that you get to that kind of dead ends you if you're not careful. Check it out, there is a bus. There's a dude coming out here in a school bus. The last time I was out here, there was a bunch of them dudes like that, and they had trashed the place. And evidently the sheriff's department, BLM, came around them all off because they were making such a mess living out here. But it looks like this dude's bringing his bus back out here. I have friends that are bus lifers that live in buses, but they're very clean and, you know, they're very respectable to the environment, so it just kind of depends on the person. And that looks like a pretty clean rig, so hopefully they're not destructive to the landscape out here. So I literally did pretty much what I always do when I come up this thing. There's like this dead end spot, but it's kind of a little cave-like thing, so it's actually a good spot to put your equipment. And I just kind of sit on these rocks and take photos. My last time I was here, I went ahead and pushed past this spot because I wanted to get up a little higher because it was a photo I was trying to get of my truck down there. But this time I think this is as high as we're gonna go. I think we can get what we want right here. I didn't bring my tripod this time. Last time I was here, I had a tripod. This time we got people down there. So we gotta wait till they leave. Oh, that's actually pretty nice. .1 should work. So funny because like I take my glasses off and I can't see diddly squat through here. And when I decided to wait on golden hour, I don't know what I was thinking, because the sun sets on the back of this mountain where it rises to the front of it. So in the morning, this is all lit up by the sun, just as the sun peeks over the mountains. But this trip, there's no real golden hour because of the fact that the sun, once the sun goes down behind this mountain that we're on, this is all shaded down here. It's pretty crazy like how popular this spot's gotten. I used to be able to come out here and just kind of be out here all by myself, but that is definitely not the case anymore. And I kind of miss that. Or I should say I liked it better when it was like that. It was more my vibe. But it is what it is. Let's see if I can get over there and get a shot of my truck on the mountain on the other side. There we go. That's badass. We'll frame those people out so they're not in the shot. I think I might have blown it out a little. Should be like an Xterra commercial. See here. I will say that the people that come out here, they pretty much, most of them come out here, stay for probably about 25, 30 minutes, and they bounce out. There's two guys that climbed up here and they went all the way to the top. And they're like in a little Portia Cheyenne or something down there, and it's still down there, and they've been out here for several hours. They got here about 5, I think, 5:15, something like that. It's 7 now. The record, as high up as I am here, I am only probably about halfway up this thing. Like, it goes way, way, way on up there, like way up there. So I'm literally probably not even quite halfway up it. And I'm dead even with Giant Rock right now. So probably I'm 200 feet off the ground, I would say. So I think this thing's a little over 400 feet tall, so I'm probably just a little under halfway up it. Okay, I will say golden hour was a little bit underwhelming out here. Just for the fact, like I said, the sun's on the other side of this big hill behind us. We're gonna like climb back up here to the truck now. Windy as hell out here. So we're gonna try to make it back to the truck, put up our gear, and see if we can climb off the top of this mountain before it gets dark. And I guess we'll head back to LA. I don't really feel like spending another night out here. I need to get a shower in and all that good stuff. So let's see if we can climb up this big ass hill, get to our truck. I will say that one thing that like these cameras never do justice is like hills. You can't really tell height, because like my truck is way the hell up there at the top of this hill, but on the camera it doesn't even look like it's very steep. Looks like it's just a little tiny hill, but it's way up there. I'm literally just got started up this hill and I'm already out of breath. That's how steep it is. We're almost to the truck. There's the truck, the very top. She did rub a little bit with those big 35s on there, 315s, metric 35s. She's flexed pretty good right now and you don't see any rubbing. And that's no fender trimming, 0 fender trimming. You can see how flexed she is right there. If we go around to the other side, you'll see flex. And she's stuffed. You can see how stuffed she is. She is stuffed. Front's kind of the same way. Caught the slider on a big rock. I figured I scraped the hell out. Oh, I did scrape the hell out of it. I felt it, I just didn't see it. So we definitely got some, we took on some stuff. I got a big pinstripe over here. Let's see if you can see it. It's right here. See, it's right. It's all the way down to the front door. Hopefully I can buff that out. All right, we are back in the truck. So hopefully it's not quite as windy now. I got to put all the gear up, which is always my least favorite thing when you're out vlogging and doing all this fun stuff. And at the very end of the day, it's like everything else, you always got to put everything up. So let's go do that. Well, let's see if we can put all this gear away. And the first thing I need to put away is this ND filter. I'm not gonna make you guys watch all that. I'll get everything put away and then we'll head down this hill. You guys can like see all of my equipment that I brought. Everything, my one wheel. We're back in the truck. I'd really had like these illusions of grandeur of like going and shooting or taking the drone and flying it over the Integratron, but that didn't happen and it's getting pretty dark. So we're gonna try to get off of this thing before it gets too dark. And we're stuck up here because it's kind of sus. It's kind of shady.